Hey YouTube, this is TheAdminShines here in the video, and today in this video, I'll be doing my Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 8 rewrite. So this is the mid-season finale, so this is pretty cool. I was basically working up the whole thing, so right when I started doing my rewrites, I knew that I was going to get here. Um, I don't know what's going to happen in the second half, but I just knew what was going to happen at the very end of the first half, so I was kind of just leading everything up to this. And I don't necessarily like how I ended episode 7, or how I did episode 7, because that was just like the main lead up for episode 8. But I did work with it, and I think I think it's good. So it's called Fire Ends All. There's some like references, like some character motives that you do kind of know, or yeah, I guess you do know from the very beginning, but now it's like finally like they actually do what they wanted to do from the very beginning of season 4. So if you haven't been caught up, you probably don't know, and then you'll be like, "What the heck? Why does this person want to do this? Why is this?" Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, season 4, episode 8, Fire Ends All. A, a proctor finds the unconscious body of Carlos's victim. The proctor then checks the armory and finds Daniel and Carlos looting the place. Carlos immediately shoots the proctor. Daniel tells Carlos that they need to get out of there because more will come, like more proctors. Everyone in the bazaar heard the gunshot and wonder what happened. Nick wakes up to see Madison in the tunnel. Nick asks Madison what happened. Madison tells Nick that she does not know. Luciana wakes up but is still very tired. She asks Nick what happened. Nick tells her that it's nothing and that she should sleep again, which Luciana basically goes to sleep because she's like really tired and yeah. Um, she's like half awake. Nick leaves the tunnel to check it out. Madison, seeing a candle, knowing that many people are in the tunnel, places it by Luciana's side, spills it a bit. The fire catches into Luciana's blankets and then on her. She starts to scream, waking up Alicia and others that were not woken by the gunshot. So the candle thing, I thought it was really cool because it was kind of like shown in episode 5, I think. So yeah, Madison grabs Alicia and tells her that they need to leave as Luciana burns. Madison and Alicia leave the tunnel together, but Alicia says, "What about her?" To Madison. Madison tells Alicia that she is sorry, but there's nothing they can do. Luciana then burns to death in the tunnel. The fire catches into more things and burns up stragglers and the walls in the tunnel. More guns. Okay. More what? More gunshots occur and people in the bazaar start to run in panic. By the way, the whole episode takes place at night. Madison screams for Nick as she is holding Alicia's hand. Alicia lets go of Madison's hand and tells her mom that they need to get out. Alicia starts to run off and Madison follows her. Carlos and Daniel get stuck in a short shootout with a few proctors. They end up winning in the end. Carlos leaves Daniel to go look for Helena. Daniel and Salazar searches for Victor Strand. Madison loses sight of Alicia in a crowd of people trying to flee the bazaar. Madison turns around to see the fire has spread outside of the tunnel and into the main trading area. Kaltaka Walker safely leads Elena outside of the bazaar. They stand and listen to the screams of people inside. Walker tells Elena that he's going back inside to find Lee. She tells him that it is not a good idea, but he does not listen and goes anyways. At the gate, Walker is stopped by riot guards. They tell him not to go back inside. Walker tells them that his friend is in there, but they ignore him just like he ignored Elena earlier. While searching for her family, Madison finds a zombified Lenora, who was the teller. She then remembers how Lenora told her that she never forgets a face and wonders if Lenora still remembers her face even as a zombie. Lenora is eating a corpse she managed to snag. Madison continues to look for her family, but struggles because of the crowd of people that are also looking for their family and like the people they want. Um, so with I don't know, I was gonna say something about Lenora. She's not really too important, so it doesn't matter. Fire starts to spread even faster. Helena is led by Elliot as they try to make their escape. Helena yells for him to stop because they need to go look for Carlos. Elliot, being a fool, then trips up and hurts his ankle when he tries to stop. Colton loots the body of a dead proctor that either Daniel or Carlos killed. Doesn't really matter. Colton now has a pistol with some ammo. Lee runs into Alicia. Alicia says the obvious that they need to get out of the bazaar. Alicia lies and tells Lee that she saw Kaltaka leave already because Lee was like, well, no, I need a Kaltaka. Lee and Alicia exit the bazaar safely where they find Elena and the other survivors watching it burn. like other just random survivors. Lee asks Elena if she has seen Walker. Elena tells him that he went back inside to look for him. Lee does the same. He runs off to go look for Walker as Alicia and Elena wait and watch, watch the bazaar burn. Helena tries to carry Elliot, but he is too heavy. Carlos then comes in and picks up Elliot and walks off to get out. He is followed by his sister. Elliot thanks Carlos as he's being held. So, if you've watched my other videos for rewrites, you would know that Carlos doesn't like Elliot, or if you watched the last episode. So somehow through the acting, if this was actually being filmed, it is implied that Carlos wants to drop Elliot, maybe from some facial things or something, and leave him because he does not like Elliot, but he does not. He keeps carrying Elliot. Madison hears people calling out for their family members as she does the same, calling for Nick. Nick calls her and they meet up. Nick has a lot of urgency in his voice, and he tells her that he needs to find Luciana and that the tunnel is on fire. Madison tries to uh, tell him, but Nick won't stop talking about finding Luciana. Madison, bro, where? Madison then smacks Nick across the face and tells him that Luciana is dead. Then that she burned in the tunnel. Nick tells her that it's not true, that she's still alive and that he will find her. Madison assures Nick that Luciana is dead. Remember, Madison's the one that killed Luciana, but no one knows, not even Alicia, because she was still sleeping. Nick, then believing her, tells Madison that he will find her body and die with her. Because, remember at the end of season 3, Nick wanted to kill himself. He didn't really care. That was a suicide note, blowing up the dam. Madison tells Nick that they can't do that and that they have to go leave with Alicia. She tells him that Alicia's waiting for them outside. She just kind of assumes Alicia's already outside the bazaar because Alicia's strong-willed survivor, and Madison even told Alicia in season 3, he's like, you've always been the strongest. Either season 3 or 2, I can't really remember. Nick then tells his mom that she can't be dead, meaning Luciana. Madison, not knowing if Nick will actually stay or not, just to die, grabs him and starts pulling on his arm. Nick is pulled for a bit until he stops himself from being pulled and yanks away from her. Madison, having enough, grabs onto Nick's shoulders and throws him forward, making him now behind her. So I don't know how to explain it. He just grabs her shoulders, she grabs his shoulders, just throws him, kind of, but he's still on his 2 feet. She then turns around and pushes him forward, trying to get him outside. Nick tells her to stop, but she doesn't listen. Madison says to Nick, as she's pushing him, you're not dying. Not here, not now. Something like that. Nick then gets away from her, pushes and yells, away from her, pushes, so I guess away from her, and tells her that he can't decide that for him, like she chose to kill Troy for him, apparently, like she said in season 3. Nick is kind of purposely egging Madison on, like he did in season 3's finale, either episode 15, 16, Things Gone Bad, or Things Bad Begun, or Sleigh Ride, can't remember. He wants to kind of test her to see what he'll do, because remember, he's like, oh yeah, so then you'll kill me, and then she's like, no, I won't do that, and yeah. Madison tells Nick that she's his mother and that she gets to decide those things for him, whether he likes it or not. Nick then starts to walk away from Madison, having enough, and he walks away from the gate too, so he's trying to go back to the tunnel or find a way in. Madison picks up a rock and says sorry before she smashes it against his head, turning Nick unconscious. So I know that might actually just kill him in real life. I don't really know, but then again, it is a show, so. Elena tells Alicia that she's going to look for Lee in Caltech, but when she does that, I'll tell you right now, Nick isn't dead. But when she does that, in the show, it's kind of like, oh my goodness, is Nick dead? Like, if it actually happened. Elena tells Alicia that she's going to look for Lee in Caltaka. Alicia does not even try to stop her. Alicia kills a few oncoming zombies that were attracted by the flames of screams. So Alicia just, at this point, doesn't really care. She's kind of like, what the heck is going on? She's not in shock, but yeah. From a distance, Eddie, Diana, Wes, and Mariana see the fire set upon El Bazaar. Wes asks Diana and Eddie what happens now. What are they going to do now? Eddie says that they'll still need to go there to see if anyone is hurt because, he's a doctor. He wants to help people. Diana tells Eddie not to worry about that. Eddie starts to walk off and is followed by Wes and Mariana. Diana stays where she is and is about to walk the other way until Mariana asks her why she is walking the other way. Diana, not knowing what to say, she goes with the group because of Mariana, because I guess Mariana is the only reason she goes. Not I guess, that is the only reason. Colton finds Lee outside the burning bazaar. He has no real reason to kill Lee, and he even tells Lee this, but he still points the gun that he found at Lee, asking him if he killed Luciana. So at this point, like Colton's just a crazy person. Yeah. If you didn't know, Colton's from the Passage series, Fear the Walking Dead. Lee tells Colton that he is not sure, but he is sure that she is dead and that he doesn't even need the points, the 500 points that Colton offered because the bazaar is over. Lee is trying to calm Colton down. So it's kind of cool though, because last episode, Colton's like, I promise you she's going to be dead by tonight. Even though Colton's not the one, I mean, Lee's the one that promises that to Colton. Even though Lee's not the one that kills her, he's technically right. Luciana does die by tonight, or that night. Cal Tucker then saves Lee by snapping Colton's neck and looting him. Daniel Salazar finally finds Victor. He finds Victor searching through dead people's clothing while holding a bottle of alcohol in his hand. So the fire hasn't like exactly gotten to where they are yet. Victor's strand is what Daniel says to get his attention while pointing the gun at him. Victor looks up to see Daniel. He slowly stands up with his hands in the air. He then says to Daniel, Daniel, I know you want to live just as much as I do, so let's just both get out of here alive. Daniel then replies by saying, then you don't know me, which is a reference to Victor when he shot Daniel in Season 3. Daniel says this because he truly does not care whether he lives or dies as long as he gets revenge on Victor and the Proctors, which is like what I said in some other episodes. Daniel then steps closer to Victor while still pointing the gun at his face, and what he also says to Nick. Victor says Daniel's name. Daniel then says, Victor, remember when he shot me in the face? Victor does not say anything, and Daniel then proceeds and says that it hurt like hell, because they don't really say that word in the shows. Daniel tells Victor that it was very unlucky for him that he didn't kill him when he shot Daniel in the face. But then Daniel says that maybe it was just very lucky for himself to be alive. Victor opens his mouth, but is stopped by Daniel when Daniel tells him that nothing he can say will get him out of the mess he is in. People then run by Daniel and Victor, pushing them aside. Victor smashes the alcohol bottle on Daniel's arm, making him drop the gun. Victor's strand sees that zombies approach, and without thinking, he pushes Daniel into them. Daniel is bitten on the lower arm. Victor, realizing what he has done, then kills the zombies with Daniel's gun. Because remember, Victor's never killed anyone by this point, and when he shot Daniel's face, he was talking to Madison's like, I've never killed anyone, and I don't know why I did that. Like, that was the worst thing that he's ever done. Like, if it's happened to him, which is also what Dave Erickson said, so I kind of stole Dave Erickson's words there. Victor thinks that Daniel will be mad at him, so he runs over to Daniel apologizing, but he sees Daniel lying on the ground with a smile on his face, speaking in Spanish about Ophelia and Griselda, and how he'll be able to see them again. Because remember in Season 3, he tried to kill himself, but the lightning killed the zombie. Victor calls people over to help. At first, no one comes, but then El Madarife comes with a machete. Without wanting, El Madarife hacks Daniel's lower arm off. Without warning, not wanting. El Madarife asks Victor if he has anything they can put to cover Daniel's arm. Victor, knowing about a rag and some wire from a dead man's pockets, takes them from the dead body and ties the rag around Daniel's wound. Daniel's passed out by this point. So I kind of put in play here, like the people say, like, if there's a gun, it better be shot. So like he's looking through people's bodies, then that's useful later. The gun, I guess Daniel's gun, useful. El Marife and Victor carry Daniel out of El Bazaar. Alicia sees an unconscious Nick awkwardly being carried by Madison. Madison's like kind of half carrying him and half dragging him because Nick is too heavy for her. Alicia runs to help. She asks what happened to him. Madison tells Alicia that it doesn't matter and that they need to get to the car. They drove, get to the car that they used to drive to the bazaar. So yeah, that's episode 8. I guess I'll tell you the name for episode 9. It's called The Last of the Clarks. It's just basically kind of like Game of Thrones season 8 episode 4 kind of knockoff. Because this episode will just feature the Clarks and maybe some random characters. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe for more episode. And I guess this quote, it doesn't really matter, but just the background is like, the only way to survive a mad world is to embrace the madness. This is from Victor Strand from season 1. But yeah, peace out.